So today our topic is managing emotions. No? I will try to deal with yung emotions as a whole. Although Kristen told me that parang ang mas emphasis are more on the negative emotions, right? Okay, so before we continue to our session, let me first ask you, what emotions have you felt today? If you, 4 o'clock ng hapon, more or less, no? Okay, from morning until this afternoon, what emotions have you felt today? Would you be kind to type it on the chat box? Willing ba kayong mag-share? Or you can unmute yourself and share a bit. Anong mga emotions have you felt today? You can type at least, 3 or even less than 3. Meron ba? Happy. Okay, what else? They are peaceful, contented, stressed, worried, happy, hopeful. Is hungry an emotion? Parang hindi, no? Thankful, excited, frustrated, tired, pensive. Wow. Excited, hopeful, contented, happy, infuriated. Yeah. We're getting a whole range of emotions here. Blessed, confused, okay, busog, sleepy, and blessed. Okay. I hope you don't fall asleep this afternoon. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. You guys, you can just keep on typing. I'll try to catch up with you. Okay. So, ang dami, no? I'm so glad that you guys are able to name and, share your emotions. Okay, and try to make a mental note pala, no? Try to make a mental note. Ano yung mga surrounding situation, why you felt that way? Like you're happy. What's the environment ba that made you happy? Ano yung context, kumbaga? If you were infuriated, ano yun? Bakit? Ganyan. No? You don't need to share that though, but just take a mental note of it. Because we will go through these emotions every now and then. We'll refer to it. No? So it would be good that as we go along in our session this afternoon, you also take a mental note of those things that you felt today. Okay? Okay ba yan? Okay, let me first talk about the emotions and the nature of emotions. No? Emotions are adaptive and biological experiences. Okay, when we mean adaptive, it helps us adjust in our environment, and it is a biological experience, meaning it happens in our body. Sabi rito, limbic communications, emotions are limbic communications that occur in the subcortical region of our brain, no? Found even in animals. So those of you who have your pets, you will also see that your pets also exhibit emotions, no? So limbic communication, our brain has a portion there that is called the limbic system. Okay, so doon nangyayari yon. Later on, I will tell you more about it. Now, emotions are quick and spontaneous. It happens very fast, right? You smell something, biglang mayroon ka nang na-feel. O kaya may nakita ka lang na dumaan, biglang may na-feel ka na. No? May nabasa kang post sa social media, you can, it could trigger an emotion. It's very quick and spontaneous. Okay, but it is fleeting. Meaning, mabilis rin siyang lumipas, no? Mabilis rin siyang dumaan. It is not as stable as moods. Like when you say, like, as a psychologist would say, kunwari, he is in a depressive mood. Ganon, no? When we talk about moods na, then that is more pervasive. Mas longer period of time. But when we talk about emotions, it's more temporary and more fleeting. Okay, now what else? There is no right or wrong emotion. No? I want to emphasize this kasi sometimes people feel na, oh, I'm feeling angry. This is wrong. No? There are healthy and unhealthy emotions. There are emotions that are more acceptable and more appropriate. Pero there is no morality. Kumbaga, there's no good or bad emotions. No? So there's no right or wrong emotions. Emotions also need to be named and expressed and acknowledged and affirmed. Okay? I will talk more about this later on because this is also a very important aspect of our feelings that we need to understand. Okay, so I will be using emotions and feelings interchangeably during our talk. Emotions also can be managed, okay? And it needs to be managed, our emotion. But you cannot just say, erase na yan. Tanggalin na yung emotion na yan, no? Usually you cannot. You just need to manage that, okay? Now, if you watch the Inside Out movie, diba? I love that movie because the characters are so cute and they show us the different emotions, basic emotions that we have. So there's sadness, joy, fear, disgust, and anger. Now, there are different theories out there that would tell you different numbers. No? Iba-iba. Some says there are only 4 emotions, but the most prevalent now is etong concept na to, that the basic emotions are actually joy and happiness and surprise. Those are the positive ones. And the negative ones are sadness, anger, fear, disgust, and actually one more, shame. Shame. Okay. What do you notice with this? Mas maraming emotions yung negative. No? Mas maraming emotions negative. Yeah, si Riley. Okay. And then, mas maraming emotions ang negative. And kaya rin, when you look at literature, parang mas maraming poetry that deals with the negative sides of emotions. No? Some people say, kasi when you're happy, parang you're just happy. Pero when you're sad, when you're angry, and there's fear, there are different layers to it. No? Now, all our other emotions, actually, you guys are so good. No? You were able to name emotions more than the basic ones, diba? Kanina, yung mga sinabi niyo, hopeful, contented, grateful, pensive, pati hungry nga, nakasali, no? Confused, amazed, no? These are words beyond the basic emotions, which is very good. Why are emotions important? Okay. Emotions and feelings, our feelings give us information about ourselves. Okay. Example, when you doubt, okay, kunwari, growing up as a Christian, I would have certain moments in my Christian walk when I would doubt my salvation. So when you are feeling uncertain of your salvation, what does it say about your walk with the Lord? See, it gives us information about ourselves. Yung doubt na yun, anong ibig sabihin nun? Because emotions act like door handles. They're door handles. It's an invitation to think about what's going on. Okay, so if I'm not too sure about my salvation, what's going on there? Okay. Kaya, if I see this person, she's not doing anything, but when I see her, naiinis ako. What's going on there, in our hearts? Emotions also help us survive. Okay, what emotions help us survive? Emotions like actually fear can protect us. I remember before, no, when I rode a jeepney with a friend. And so when we were inside the jeepney, sa recto yun, no, sa recto, before crossing yung Rizal Avenue, there were two guys who came in, who also rode the jeepney. No? Pag akyat nung dalawang lalaki, my friend and I suddenly looked at each other and says, baba tayo. Sabi namin gano'n, no? And then apparently, and then sabi niya, sige, sige, baba tayo, ganyan. Now, both of us suddenly felt nervous when those two guys went up the jeep, no? Hindi ko alam kung na-hold up ba yung jeep na yun o anong nangyari. But I felt, no, yung emotions, my fear was validated by my friend because sabay kaming may naramdaman, no? So, gano'n, no? Emotions can help us, can protect us. I remember my teacher's daughter also had the same experience in a jeep, but she didn't went down. And then ended up the jeep was actually hold up nga after a few minutes, no? And she regretted not listening to her emotions. Okay. Emotions also help us relate and communicate with other people, right? Emotions like love, okay, o kaya when we did something wrong, we feel guilty or we feel regretful, then we know how to relate better to other people, no, in those times. So these are the importance of emotions. Now, let's go to what I was sharing, emotions and our brain. Okay, it's quite difficult to read yata the text of the, so I'm sharing this, okay. Amygdala, there is a part of our brain, which is the amygdala. Okay, let me try to use the pointer here. This one, okay, do you see it? Yan, yung red na yan, na maliit, that is our amygdala. Okay? The amygdala is where all our emotions come from. That is the seat of our emotion. You know? It is also our alarm bell. Okay? Parang yan yung nagsasabi, okay, meron kang nakita, or you sense something, you smell something, you heard something, it's the amygdala that will pick that up and see, teka, what is this stimulus that I am seeing? No? Okay? So that's the amygdala. Now, this one, ito naman, no, yung the blue one, the end of this blue thing here is called the hippocampus. Okay? The hippocampus naman is the storage of our memories. Okay? I try to remember it like parang sa campus may library. Okay? The hippocampus is like the library of our memories. Now, the hippocampus works together with another part of the brain. This one. Where's my pointer? Sorry. This one, no? The prefrontal cortex to balance the amygdala. Now, what is the prefrontal cortex and what does it do? The prefrontal cortex is the decision-making center of our brain, okay? It helps us to pay attention, and it's the seat of it's that part of our brain that helps us do problem. Okay, so prefrontal cortex yon. Okay, so what happens in our brain? Okay, sample, there is a stimulus, okay? So it's the amygdala picks it up and then it will assess. Sabi niya, okay, may nakita akong sample tayo. Kunwari, nakita ko yung crush ko, may kasama. Okay? May kasama siyang babae. Okay. So, si amygdala will pick that up. Is the girl a threat or not? Parang ganon, no? Is it a threat? So, The hippocampus enters. Have I seen the girl before? Is the girl sister or mother or stranger or classmate? Okay. And so depending on that help that the hippocampus provided, that information, and then it will now go through the prefrontal cortex and says, okay, kapatid pala niya, ati pala niya, yung kasama nung crush ko. So, okay lang yon. So, hindi siya threat. Parang ganon. And so, you don't feel, kinakabahan. So, parang ganon. That's how it works. Okay? So, these three works together when we are processing our emotions. Of course, there are other parts of our brain that would also be involved. Pero ito yung pinaka simplest, okay? Now, they said for people who have actually underwent trauma, their hippocampus are usually damaged and the amygdala is overstimulated, overstimulated. So that's why when they recall a memory, minsan nagwawala sila, especially like the war veterans, diba? That happens. Because their amygdala is overstimulated and it seems like the hippocampus cannot regulate, nahirapan mag-regulate. Now, sabi nila also, biologically, our prefrontal, this side, our prefrontal cortex takes time to develop. Researchers have been saying now that it takes 25 years for for a person to fully develop the prefrontal cortex. So I understand from 1010, most of you are teenagers, no? So adolescent brain pa. So yung inyong prefrontal cortex are actually continually developing. Pero of course, sometimes you meet adults na parang puro amygdala lang, no? Parang hindi na na-develop ang prefrontal cortex kahit over 25 years old. But generally, that is the trend, okay? So that's why also teenagers tend to exhibit risk-taking behaviors more. No? Mas risk-taking sila and sometimes our decisions are not as wise yet, no? It is because ren, of course, na our prefrontal lobe is still developing. So we're still learning how to make decisions and do problem solving, okay? But it doesn't mean that if you're below 25 years old, na you cannot make sound decisions. Hindi naman, no? But generally lang, biologically, that is the age, no? But of course, our experiences, our environment can help us be better decision makers, especially pag nasanay tayo at an early age. Okay? Now, so how do we manage emotions? Okay, I prepared 5 tips for this afternoon. Okay, and I will try to answer some of the questions that were given to me, no? Hopefully along the way, as I discuss these tips, I would be able to answer. If not, you can, always chat and maybe Kristen can call my attention if you guys want me to answer some of the other questions further. Okay? So yung mga nakuha kong questions are, how can you remain joyful despite bad circumstances? Practical tips for being joyful even if you're not happy. How can you avoid sinning in anger? Wow, very good questions, no? What should I do if I feel depressed? Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to touch on this, no, as we go along. Okay, now let's go to tip number 1. Okay, tip number 1, learn to name your emotions accurately. This is the one I was sharing kanina. Okay, kasi nature of our emotions and feelings, part of it is to be is for us to acknowledge them, no? And before you are able to acknowledge a certain type of emotion that you're feeling, you have to know how to name them accurately. Okay? Example, no? Not everyone who cries is actually sad. Diba? Some people, like my sister, when she's angry, she cries also. No? Especially if she's arguing. Diba? So, minsan, di ba, sa summer camp, pagka nagta-testimony, minsan, we're sharing our testimony, we're touched by the Lord, bigla tayong iiyak, tapos mamaya biglang tatawa na, parang gano'n, no? So, anong emotions yung nandun? Right? So, it's very important to learn how to accurately name them. So, very important also to widen our emotional vocabulary. Okay. Kunyari, happy. Sige nga. You know, parang mas mabilis pag unmuted na lang kayo, no? What are the other words for happy? Could you share?
Joy.
Joy. Very good. Yes, that's our name. What else? Ika-open ko yung chat box. Elated, ecstatic. Wow, galing. Very good. Blissful. Right. Jubilant. Wow, ang galing. Parang thesaurus kami. Okay, yan, no? And here, thankful, content, which some of you actually said, not gloomy, confident, excited, comfortable. So those could all mean have that element of happiness. How about this one? Sad. Sige nga. Pag sad, anong ibang words for sad? Or what other emotions or feelings na we easily label as sad but actually pwedeng hindi sadness yun? Meron ba? Worried, okay, pwede. Disappointment, fearful, okay. Heartbroken, yes. Sorrowful, yep. Okay. Guilty, tired, yeah. Let me share this. Some of them, yeah, no, mournful, dismayed, pessimistic, disillusioned, regretful, disappointed, depressed, no, sad. Okay. How about anxious? Some of you also said that. Anxious, fearful, worried, ano pa? Terrified, yep. Uncertain, good. Meron pa? Confused, yeah. There, no? You have it. Confused, stressed, feeling vulnerable, afraid, you're skeptical, worried, cautious, no? Sometimes cautious, yes, nervous. Cautious can actually also appear like anxious. Angry. How about angry? Anger. And sorry, I can't hear it. Rage. Wow. Furious. Yes. Any more?
Yeah.
Infuriated. Oo, ito kanina, no? Frustrated. Very good. Yes. Mad. Yep.
Yeah.
Annoyed. Yes. Right. No? Annoyed, grumpy, disappointed, pwede rin, no? Sometimes when you're disappointed, you're not just sad, you're also angry. It's pwedeng spiteful. Okay, na-offend ka, di ba? You're offended. Actually, nakikita lang ng tao yung anger minsan, but actually, na-offend ka talaga. Irritated, yes. Right, very good. Embarrassed. Pag embarrassed naman, anong ibang emotions related there? Shy, yeah. Timid, shame, yes. Regret, right, no? You could also be self-conscious, right? I remember before, when we were young, pag kunyari, gun sacha kong bekitsulay, no? Di ba? Ang customs of Chinese is nausitwa lang lai lantyo o hiaokyo, no? Pero yung shoti ko tsaka shobe ko, pag kunyari dumating yung sacha kong ko, tatago sila sa kwarto. And sometimes
patapos na tong
because they're actually self-conscious, they're actually embarrassed to greet. They're not naman impolite. It's just that nahihiya, no? Minsan ganon, 'di ba? Some people are labeled impolite, but actually it's self-consciousness, no? So, okay, what else? Petrified, shame, regret, so guilty, pwede rin. Pathetic, ashamed, I feel pathetic, di ba? Parang minsan nahihiya ka feeling that way. Confused, inferior, isolated. Okay, hurt. How about hurt? The feeling of being hurt. Parang hurt and sadness medyo related, di ba? Pero actually, hurt has also another layer pa, may difference pa. Any other words for hurt? Or any other feelings associated with feeling hurt? Ba uso yun? Na-hurt ako sa sinabi mo, ha? Betrayed, very good. Yeah. Offended, yes. Diminished, wow. Right. Abused, Right. Or when you're jealous, you're isolated, abused, victimized, the same, no? Almost tormented. When you're abandoned, o kaya, di ba tayo minsan when you feel na OP ka, na out of place, di ba? Nakaka-hurt din yun, no? Okay, when you're shocked, when you're deprived of something, there is also a feeling of hurt. Okay. So, kanina, well, you guys actually did very well in terms of sharing your feelings, no? And I'm so glad, ang galing. Many of us here in the room are emotionally intelligent, no? That is one what do you call this? That's one sign of an emotionally intelligent person, when you're able to actually name and accurately name your emotion. Okay. I want to share this because I find this really nice, no? Very insightful. If feelings could talk, sabi niya, sadness might be telling me I need to cry. And loneliness might be telling me I need connection. Shame might be telling me I need self-compassion. And resentment might be telling me I need to forgive. Emptiness might be telling me I need to do something creative. And anger might be telling me I need to check in with my boundaries, no? Am I sobrang open that my boundaries are too permeable, no? Hindi set, kaya parating na-abuse. Anxiety might be telling me I need to breathe. And stress might be telling me I need to take it one step at a time. No? So see, this is also why naming accurately our emotion is important. Kasi minsan akala natin galit lang, no? Eh yung pala lonely rin. So when we're angry, sometimes we don't want to talk to people, right? But if there is also loneliness in that anger, you won't be able to address the connection part. No? Baka ang kailangan pala para mawala yung anger is connecting with other people. No? So that is the reason why we need to accurately name our emotions. I'd like to end this portion with Isaiah 43:1. It says, "But now, thus says the Lord, He who created you, O Jacob, He who formed you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, and you are mine." No? There are times when we do not understand or cannot name our emotions because there are too many of them. Parang we're feeling them all at the same time, and it could be confusing. But rest assured that we have a creator who formed us, who knows what's happening inside us, and he can even call us by name. No? And also, as how God can call us by name, it is also a good, no, uh, reminder to be able to name also the emotions that we're feeling inside us. Okay, let's go to our second tip. Distract your emotions. No? Distracting your emotions is a way also to manage it. But you have to distract it with helpful activities. Okay? So, stress on the helpful, hindi yung distracting emotions by throwing plates around. Okay? Helpful activities. And also, this tip should only be applied when emotions are too intense or overwhelming. So, this is not an end in itself, no? Temporary lang. Okay, you distract yourself until your emotions would lower, and then you will be able, until you're able to deal with it na. No? Kasi minsan when emotions are too high, ah, hindi kayo magkaintindihan, no? When you want to thresh out things, like even in counseling, no? When too much emotion is there, it's difficult to actually think of action plans, because too much going on pa, too much going on, okay? So, we need to distract it first. Okay, and then once emotions come down, it's more manageable, then we have to deal with the issue. Okay, so what are ways of distracting our emotions? Ayan, may listahan ako rito. I'm sure some of you would do this na, no? Okay, you connect with your friends, or you go into social media, computer games, you surf the internet, or you just listen to music. I remember we have a Bible study member. Sabi niya dati, pag kagalit daw siya sa mundo, lilisten na lang siya sa rock music. Yun, parang lahat ng galit niya nandun muna. Parang ganyan, no? Or you can listen to other things, okay? Podcast, or you play with your pet, you can run, you can walk, you could read books. Those are good ways of distracting your emotions. What else? Some of us eat, no? Stress eaters, okay? Uh, so, everything has to be in moderation, ha? Walang masama naman. Kunyari, naiinis ka. Teka, kakain muna ako ng chocolate. I have a friend like that, Pag nabubuna sa stress siya, she works in a bank. Kakain muna ako ng chocolate kasi sumasaya ako pag may chocolate. Ganyan. Okay? Or some of us binge watch, no? K-drama, Netflix. Kaya yung iba nag-vlog. Okay? Some of us would do home responsibilities. I have a friend, pero siguro this works more with yung mas adult na, no? Sabi niya, pagka she feels confused, she ends up cleaning her house. Okay. Actually, merong scientific explanation doon. So, nagiging OC siya, nililinis niya yung bahay niya, ganyan. I have a friend naman, when she's upset, she would bake. She would bake kasi yung galit niya, nafe-feel niya sa hand niya. And so, baking, sort of releases that anger. Okay? Some people distract their emotions by traveling. Okay? Medyo magastos yun. At medyo mahirap gawin yon at this time. Okay? You can also distract your emotions by making a gratitude list. Yeah, you're feeling down. Let me recall, what are my blessings for today? You can also do that. Okay. Okay. So reminders again, distracting our emotions should not lead to emotional avoidance. No, mahalaga to. Temporary relief lang siya when emotions are too intense, and that you have to do things in moderation. Sabi nga sa 1 Corinthians 10:23, all things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up. Okay, tip number 3, express your emotions in a healthy manner. Okay, so be it joy, sadness, or anger, we need to learn to express it in a healthy manner. Kasi minsan some of us are very happy. Pero parang in our happiness, we ended up doing some silly things, right? So, even in happiness, kaya dapat healthy ang ating expression. Okay. One way of expressing emotions is through prayer. No, praying. The Psalms is a book where we could see so many emotions, but they are actually showing a lot of so many emotions of the psalmist, no? Na dinaan through prayer. No? Sample yon. Out of the depths, I cry to you, O Lord. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? No? So these are showing of emotions of longing, emotions of helplessness na kinikwento nila kay God. Also, expressing your emotion could also come in verbally sharing how you feel with someone. Okay, it could be that someone is the one you have conflict with, or it could also be through therapy or through a friend. I like this picture. Sometimes when there's so many things going on in our emotions, no, you could see that, no, parang entangled siya lahat, ang gulo-gulo, no? But when you start sharing it to someone you trust, somehow it becomes organized, no? Minsan the process of sharing it, because when you share it to someone, you have to share it in a way that the other person would understand, right? So parang sa'yo rin, napaprocess mo na rin yun. Kaya maganda rin siya na sinishare. Okay? I like this picture. See? This is the way children would express their emotions through play. No? They actually, so this was when Black Panther died. No? This kid is showing his grief, through play. And I love this picture. That is so true when you deal with children. Makikita mo yan. Okay, one way also of expressing your emotion is through journaling. Okay, I often say this when I get invited to talk about emotions and feelings. Journaling is very helpful. The same way as sharing it kanina would somehow organize your thoughts, journaling also helps. I have a teacher before, si Dr. Karandang. She's a very renowned child psychologist. Her practice is every day she would write something at the beginning of the day, just 3 sentences of how she's feeling, what are her thoughts. Just scribble it and then, ano niya yun, practice niya somehow to help her start the day. Okay, but journaling can also work even at night. No, you could also keep journals of your prayers, journals of your devotion with the Lord. Okay, how else can we express our emotions? Through art expression. Ito, marami na yan, no? Playing musical instrument, composing songs, drawings, paintings, dance, or song through a song, no? We also express our emotions through physical activity. Some of us would go into sports. Boxing, yun, very real yun. Pag naiinis ka, you can just box your emotions away, okay? Hugs and kisses are manifestations of emotions, expressing our emotions. Crying, okay, so physical activity. Yun pala, may question. Anger, kanina, di ba? How do I express my anger in such a way that I do not sin? Okay, these are some of the ways that you could do that. that in your anger you don't sin. So you try to express your emotion of anger in productive ways. Okay, you could also try to evaluate if I'm angry, where do I feel that in my body, no? Just like my friend, sabi niya she feels it in her hands. Okay? Some of us feel anger here. Dito sa noo, kumukunot. O kaya yung iba dito, pag matanda na, naha-high blood. Some of us feel anger here, sa ating shoulders. Okay? So where you feel that anger, you can direct yung feeling mo of anger and address the physical manifestations of it. No? So maybe kung nafe-feel mo dito yon, baka you need to, go for a walk first. Try to look at nicer sceneries, just to relax your head muscles. Now, emotions that are chronically unacknowledged lead to distress and disease. No? When we say chronically, that means for a long period of time, no? Almost a life, parang lifetime, ganon. Hindi natin ina-acknowledge, nasanay tayo not sharing our emotions, we just keep it all in. Usually, it will lead to distress and or minsan diseases. Because emotions, remember the nature, it has to be acknowledged, right? So sometimes suppressed emotions may show up like this. Here, the list is here, no? It could be tiredness, could be migraine, minsan allergy, minsan digestive problem. So all of this, no, can be the underlying factors could be suppressed emotions. Okay. I remember I was tutoring someone before, and then he would tell me, tutor, baka tuwing may exam, na-LBM ako. Sabi niya ganun. Sabi ko, at that time, dati hindi ba ako masyado aware of how emotions can affect our body. But now I realize, kasi yung anxiety niya is always there, no? He's very studious. So, nandun yung anxiety, and every time may exam, in the morning daw mag-LBM siya. So see, that's one proof that our emotions could actually affect our bodies. Okay, so remember, name them, acknowledge them, and express them. And the greatest expression of an emotion of love is that of what God did. God showed his love for us, and that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. The greatest expression of an emotion. Okay, tip number 4. Okay, here, what do you see in the white box? Pwede bang i-chat niyo? Anong nakikita niyo sa white box? 13. Some says B. Some says 13. 13 and B. Right. Okay. Our fourth tip, makdo, natagilid. Okay. Reframing or thought substitution. So this is tip number 4. Okay. So tama kayo, no? The picture that I showed you is actually 13 and B. Depends on our context, right? How about this? Are the plates upside down or right side up? Right side up. Right side up. Oh, puro right side up. Anyone seeing it upside down? Upside down. There's one. Yes. Abby says it switches. Right. It switches actually. It's both upside down and both right side up. Okay. So that is our tip number 4. Thought substitution. Okay. Ano daw yung right side up? Yun yung nakaganyan. Parang, okay, parang ito, ay sorry, hindi makita, may background ako. Right side up is like what you use when you actually put, food on it. Okay. So, here, it actually switches, no? Ayun, right side up means hindi baliktad. Hindi. Tama, hindi baliktad. Tama. Okay. Thank you. So, thought substitution, yun yung gusto natin gawin, that our brain could shift whether it's right side up or upside down. Pwede natin gawin. Okay. So, what do we actually do with thought substitution? Thinking about the situation from a different perspective. Okay. Seeing possibilities, challenging unhelpful beliefs, and exploring alternative thoughts. That is thought substitution. So what you did is actually just a sample. Okay? So minsan ang tingin nyo, right side up. Pero pag parang if you, turn a bit, parang teka, parang baliktad na. Ganun, no? Now, there are three elements of experience. No? There are three elements of experience. I shared this also na before when I talked sa camp. No? Feeling, thinking, and doing. Every experience that we have is composed of three elements: feeling, thinking, doing. Okay, so to understand emotion, we need to identify what event triggered the emotion, and then, okay, so there's the trigger, and then what, ano ba nangyari sa laser ko? Okay, and then what goes on in our mind, okay, that is associated with the emotion, and then what actions do we take when we feel the emotion? Okay, so thinking and then doing. Okay, so there's a trigger, we felt something, what goes on in the mind, and then what do we do about that? Okay, now let's go. ABCs of emotion management. Okay, antecedent event, that is the trigger, letter A, and then B for belief, and C for consequent feeling. Okay, so ano yan? So to understand our emotions, we have to step back and look at the situation. What are my triggers? Okay, so kanina some of you shared, I was infuriated. Okay, so what was the trigger? What happened? Okay, kaya I was sad. What was the antecedent event? Okay, and then what was the belief that accompanied that? Okay, I was angry. So what was the belief? What was going on in my mind kaya ako angry? So sample, no? Kanina. Kunwari, your mom saw you spending so much time in front of the computer. Okay. And then your mom saw you na you're nag-gaming ka pala. So, 4 na oras ka na playing games on the computer. What belief kaya goes on in your mom's mind? Meron? Who would like to share? What thoughts actually come into you to some of the, doesn't have to be your mom, okay? Usually, mga nanay, pag nakita yung anak nila 4 hours na nag-gaming, usually, what is the belief and what is the feeling? Anyone like to share? Wala nang ibang hobbies. Adik ka na dyan, adik. Okay. Okay, so what is the feeling of the mom pag adik ang tingin niya sa anak niya? Addicted sa games. Uutusan. Nagkasakit yung naglalaro. Okay. Sad. Your mom could be sad. Okay. Ayan, kaka-cellphone mo yan. Ma'am, kaka-computer mo yan. Okay, so nagkasakit na. At least hindi addict sa droga. Nga naman. Okay. Sige. So usually, parang napapagalitan, no? Kasi yung belief nga, nandun, addict. Pero kung online class, okay, 4 na oras ka nang nasa online class, and you are, intently listening, what is the belief naman ng mommy? Masipag. Okay. Dapat mataas grade mo, attentive, pagpatuloy mo pa yan. Yes. And what is the feeling of the mom usually pag yan ang belief? Kawawa naman. Mabait, obedient. Okay. So what's the consequent feeling of the mommy with that kind of belief? Proud mom. Right. No? So you see, yung belief influences us a lot, right? So, what you do now, if you are dealing with negative emotions, is you would do the DEF. Okay, so meron ka ng A, B, C, now DEF naman. Dispute, okay, you dispute the belief. Okay. Sample, kunyari, I failed in an exam. Okay, I failed in an important exam. What is the belief that could be coming in sa aking head? I failed in my exam. Anxious, okay? So that's the feeling, no? Anxious ka. Need to study more, okay? Bawi na lang next time. Wow, very good, okay? So if these are your feelings, okay, bawi na lang next time. Usually, you won't go into self-pity kasi medyo hopeful eh. Pero pag ang iyong belief ay I'm not good enough, okay? Ano sabi niya rito? Didn't try hard enough, right? So usually, ang feeling nun ay feeling na I'm not good enough. No? So that is the feeling of what? Is that, hindi masarap na feeling yun eh, di ba? That I'm not good enough. You feel like a failure, right? So what do you do? Okay, what do? You pwede ka mag-self-pity. Okay. Bumagsak rin yung matalino sa klase, kaya okay lang. Yan. Pag ganyan yung belief mo, medyo yung consequent feeling, medyo okay pa. Pero itulog na lang. I am doomed. I am about to die. See? Pag gano'n na yung feeling mo, okay, you have to look at the belief and then dispute. How do you dispute your feeling? Okay? You dispute your feeling by asking, is it true? Totoo ba na I am doomed? Totoo ba na I'm not good enough? O hindi naman? Okay? What are the evidences that I am not good enough? Or that I am a failure? Now, if my friend failed, what will I tell my friend? Kasi sometimes we're kinder to others than ourselves, right? So if I have a friend who failed in the same situation, what will I tell him? Or you could think, could it be that, yun nga, no? Could it be that, kahit naman yung matalino sa amin, bumagsak din. So, may pag-asa pa ako, I'll just try next time. Yun. See? So you get that? So you have to dispute those beliefs. And when you dispute the belief, your philosophy, no, yung mind will change, yung belief mo would change, and consequently, your feeling will also change. Okay? So, example ha, I have a classmate before. Yung time namin, high school to, wala pang mga cellphone, hindi pa uso yun, no? So, he lives here, silang siblings, and his parents are in the province. Okay, so in the morning, it was his birthday. He was my seatmate. And then the family, sabi ko, oh, happy birthday. Sabi niya, bakit ka malungkot? Sabi niya, his family daw forgot to greet him on his birthday. Actually, his parents. His parents forgot to greet him on his birthday. And so, the belief that is coming in is they do not love me. They don't care. They don't even remember that it's my birthday. So, kaya nakasimangot siya during sa class. And so, he was sad. Okay. Now, I said, mali mo naman. Sabi ko, baka naman your parents tried to call you in the morning but cannot get through. O kaya malay mo, di pa naman tapos yung birthday mo. They will call you later tonight after class. Tapos sabi sa akin, ay, oo nga, no? Baka naman mamaya pa tatawag. Okay. So sabi niya, I will wait before the day ends. No? And so, he started smiling na. Okay. So see how the belief, once disputed, can generate positive feelings. Okay. Let me go to Lamentations 3:19 to 23. I like this portion of the passage. Sabi niya, I remember my affliction and my wandering, the bitterness and the gall. I well remember them, and my soul is downcast within me. Yet this I call to mind, therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. See, I made this a different color, yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. So anong nangyari? Nagkaroon siya ng thought substitution. No? Ni-reframe niya yung kanyang belief. Okay, so that is our fourth tip. I have only a few minutes left. Okay, pause. This is the fifth and the last. Practice pausing. Okay, and remember when emotions are running high, never make important decisions. Be it you're too happy, too sad, too angry, or too afraid, do not make any decision because usually pagkakamali ka, no? You will regret that decision, especially if they are major ones. Okay? Practice the pause. When in doubt, you pause. When angry, pause. When tired, pause. When stressed, pause. And when you pause, you pray. Okay? That is one way of making use of that silence, no? Yung meaningful silence. I also like to teach this, yung breathing exercise. When emotions are too high, like ito, over the pandemic, I would receive calls from friends and minsan, relatives, saying, I'm having anxiety. Kaya sa office namin, we have two of our employees who actually were infected with COVID. No? And every time there's a news like that, ay, for sure, anxiety yon, iyakan yon, no? So, anong kailangan? Breathing, no? Breathing. I find this very, very useful for your age, no? So you can, raise yung hand like that whenever, and then you trace, okay? You trace your other finger. When you put this like that, you breathe in through your nose, and then you hold the breath. And then when you trace your finger down, then that's when you exhale slowly. So breathe in through your nose, hold, and then back. Like that, no? So breathe in slowly through your nose, hold for like 3 seconds. Yung iba kung kaya nyo hanggang 7. And then exhale slowly down. This helps especially when you are getting anxious. Yung masyadong kinakabahan, no? Masyadong kinakabahan. This tracing of your hand somehow helps, no, with your age. Pero pag mga adults na, hindi ko na sila pinapatrace ng hands. But this one is a very, very good exercise when you want to control the nervousness, the anxiety. Pause, no? Or even anger, pwede din. Pwede din. Okay? So it says here, be still and know that I am God, no? For God alone, O my soul, wait in silence, for my hope is from him. The Psalms also teaches us a lot about being silent, being still, taking a pause, okay? Especially when negative emotions are too strong. Okay, so that ends the 5 tips. So just to summarize, how do you manage emotions? Name emotions accurately. You can distract your emotions if too intense. You express your emotions in a healthy manner. You reframe your thought. no? Or you practice thought substitution. And one last thing is you can pause for a bit, pause. And then after that, when things are manageable, you have to go back and deal with the issue. Okay, so that ends my sharing. And these are the discussion questions that I prepared that you can discuss for your breakout sessions. Okay, what insights have you learned today? Which among the 5 tips that were shared is doable for you and you maybe want to share? Pick up one negative emotion you have felt recently, doesn't have to be today, and try to apply the thought substitution. No? Check your belief and then try to substitute it and then see if you can come up with a different thought about it. No? And then, have you learned anything about yourself today? You don't have to answer all. Siguro kung whatever time allows lang. Okay. Thank you.